The mountain within you, voice-only version, let's start. There's a weight you've been carrying. Maybe you can't name it. Maybe it's been there so long you've forgotten what it feels like to stand up straight. It sits on your shoulders when you wake up, and it presses down harder just before you close your eyes at night. This weight has 1,000 names. For some, it's called failure. For others, it whispers the word loneliness. Some know it as regret, others as fear. Perhaps yours is called disappointment, or maybe it goes by the name of loss. But here's what I need you to understand right from the start: that weight you're carrying. It's not your weakness. It's proof of your humanity. It's evidence that you've been brave enough to try, to love, to hope, to dream. You don't feel pain in muscles that have never been used. You don't feel exhaustion in a heart that's never dared to care. Every mountain has what climbers call a false summit. It's that moment when you think you've reached the top, when you believe the struggle is finally over, and then you crest the ridge only to discover there's still more mountain ahead. More climbing, more effort, more pain. Life is full of false summits. You work so hard to get that promotion, only to discover the new job brings new pressures. You finally heal from one heartbreak, only to risk your heart again. You overcome one obstacle, and another appears on the horizon. And this is where most people make their greatest mistake. They interpret the existence of another challenge as evidence that they're doing something wrong. They think the appearance of the next mountain means they failed to properly climb the last one. But what if I told you that's backwards? What if the next mountain appears precisely because you succeeded? What if life doesn't give you challenges to stop you, but to grow you? There comes a moment in every journey when you must make a choice. Not the choice between giving up or going on, that's too simple. The real choice is this: will you climb your mountain, or will you let your mountain define you? See, the mountain doesn't care about your past. It doesn't know about your mistakes, your regrets, your failures. The mountain doesn't judge you for how many times you've fallen or how long you've rested. The mountain simply exists, neutral and patient, waiting to see what you'll decide. And this is the beautiful secret they don't tell you. You were built for this mountain. Not because you're perfect, not because you're fearless, but because every human being who has ever lived was designed with an extraordinary capacity, the capacity to become more than they were yesterday. Your DNA carries the code of ancestors who survived ice ages, plagues, famines, wars, and losses you can't imagine. You are the descendant of survivors, of climbers, of people who looked at impossible mountains and decided to take one more step anyway. Let me share something with you that neuroscience has proven beyond doubt. Your brain is not fixed. It's not static. It's not limited by who you were last year, last month, or even yesterday. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, to create new pathways, to literally change its structure based on your thoughts and actions. This means something profound. Every time you face a challenge and don't quit, you're not just getting through that moment. You're physically rebuilding your brain to be stronger. You're creating new neural pathways that make the next challenge easier. You're programming yourself for resilience. Think about that. Your struggles aren't just obstacles. They're the raw material your brain uses to construct a stronger version of you. Every difficulty you face is an invitation to upgrade your mental and emotional operating system. I want you to do something right now. I want you to think back to a challenge you faced 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Remember something that felt impossible at the time, something that kept you awake at night, something that made you wonder if you'd ever feel okay again. Can you remember it? Good. Now ask yourself this question: did you survive it? You're here, aren't you? You're listening to these words right now, which means you made it through. You climbed that mountain, even if you don't remember the exact moment you reached the summit. And here's what's remarkable: that thing that once felt impossible, it probably doesn't carry the same weight now. Not because it wasn't real, not because it wasn't hard, but because you changed. You grew. You became someone capable of carrying what once would have crushed you. This is your proof. Not proof that life gets easier, it doesn't always, but proof that you get stronger. Proof that you have within you an engine of transformation that can turn pressure into power, pain into purpose, and struggles into strength. But let's be honest about something. The hardest part of climbing your mountain isn't the terrain. It's not the weather. It's not even the physical exhaustion. The hardest part is the voice in your head that says you can't do it. That voice knows you better than anyone else. It knows your secrets, your failures, your disappointments. It knows exactly which words will hurt the most because it speaks with your own voice. And it's relentless. You're not strong enough. You're too old. You're too young. You don't have what it takes. Everyone else can do it, but not you. You've failed before, you'll fail again. This voice is what psychologists call your inner critic. And here's what you need to know. That voice is not your enemy. It's your protector that's working with outdated information. It's trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. It thinks if you never try, you'll never fail. If you never hope, you'll never be disappointed. But safety isn't the same as living. Protection isn't the same as growth. And comfort isn't the same as fulfillment. So how do you silence that voice? You don't. How do you defeat your fear? You don't. How do you make the mountain smaller? You don't. Instead, you make yourself bigger. You acknowledge the voice, thank it for trying to protect you, and then you make a different choice. You feel the fear and decide that growth matters more than comfort. You look at the mountain and decide that who you'll become by climbing it is more important than the temporary safety of staying where you are. This is the moment of decision, and it's more powerful than you realize. Because decision doesn't just mean choosing, it means cutting off all other possibilities. The word decide comes from the Latin decidir, which means to cut off. When you truly decide, you're not just choosing what you will do. You're cutting away what you won't tolerate anymore. You're cutting away the excuses. You're cutting away the victim story. You're cutting away the belief that you're powerless. And in that cutting away, you create space for something new to grow. The first step is always the hardest because it's the step that requires the most faith. You can't see the summit yet. You don't know exactly how the path will unfold. You're not even sure you can make it, but you step anyway. And this is where magic happens, not the fairy tale kind, but the real neuroscience-backed kind. When you take action despite fear, you send a signal to your brain that you are not defined by that fear. Your brain begins to rewire itself around this new information. It thinks, oh, we're the kind of person who does hard things. We're the kind of person who keeps going. Every step reinforces this new identity. Every small victory builds evidence for a new story about who you are. You're not trying to become someone different, you're becoming more fully yourself, the version of you that was always there beneath the layers of doubt and fear. Here's something else you need to know. You're not alone on this mountain. Look around. There are climbers everywhere. Some are ahead of you on the trail, some are behind. Some are on different mountains altogether, but they're climbing too. That elderly woman learning to use a computer to video call her grandchildren, she's climbing. That teenager working 2 jobs to help his family while maintaining his grades, he's climbing. That single parent holding it together despite exhaustion, she's climbing. That person battling depression who got out of bed today, they're climbing. Every human being you see is on their own mountain, fighting their own battles, carrying their own weight. And this shared struggle is what connects us all. This is why compassion isn't just kindness, it's recognition. It's seeing another climber and remembering that we're all doing the hard work of becoming. Some people will judge you from the valley, shouting advice about mountains they've never climbed. Let them. Some will compare their mountain to yours, claiming theirs is harder. It doesn't matter. Your mountain is your mountain, and its height is measured not by external metrics but by how much you must grow to summit it. Let me tell you what nobody wants to hear but everybody needs to know. There will be storms. There will be days when the sun disappears, when the path becomes unclear, when every step forward feels like you're being pushed 3 steps back. There will be moments when you question everything, when you wonder if you made the right choice. When the voice of doubt becomes so loud you can barely hear anything else. When you're so tired that giving up seems not just easy but logical. These storms are not signs that you're on the wrong path. They're not evidence that you should quit. They're tests, not tests to see if you're worthy, but tests that forge your worthiness. The storm doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't care about your preparation. It simply comes, and in coming, it offers you the opportunity to discover what you're made of. This is why you need anchor points, those unshakable truths you hold onto when everything else feels uncertain. These anchors aren't just positive thoughts or wishful thinking. They're evidence-based truths about reality and about yourself. Anchor point 1, this feeling is temporary. Every storm you've ever faced has eventually passed. Every dark night has given way to dawn. This one will too. Not because I say so, but because that's the nature of storms. They rage and then they end. Your job is simply to hold on until they do. Anchor point 2. Discomfort is not damage. You can feel terrible and still be okay. You can be afraid and still be brave. You can doubt yourself and still keep moving. Your feelings are real, but they're not facts. They're weather patterns in your internal climate, and like weather, they change. Anchor point 3. You have survived 100% of your worst days. Think about that. Every single time you thought you couldn't go on, you did. Every time you thought you'd break, you bent instead. Your track record for getting through hard times is perfect. Why would today be different? There's a lie our culture tells us. That strength means doing it alone. That asking for help is weakness. That independence is the ultimate virtue. But this lie keeps people stuck on their mountains, struggling unnecessarily, sometimes dying within reach of help they were too proud to accept. Real strength includes knowing when you need support. Real courage includes being vulnerable enough to say, I can't do this alone. Real wisdom includes recognizing that the people offering to help you aren't taking away from your journey. They're part of it. Maybe you need a therapist to help you navigate the mental terrain. Maybe you need a mentor to show you paths you can't see yet. Maybe you need a friend to remind you why you started climbing in the first place. Maybe you need medical help, financial advice, or simply someone to sit with you in the storm. This isn't failure, this is strategy. Mountain climbers rope together not because they're weak, but because they're smart. Because they understand that some sections of the mountain can't be navigated alone. Because they know that surviving is more important than pretending. There comes a point on every mountain where you can see the summit. It's right there, visible, almost touchable. And this is often the most dangerous part of the climb, because you're exhausted, because you've already given so much. Because part of you thinks close enough might be good enough, but close enough isn't the summit. Close enough is still the mountain. And if you stop now, you'll always wonder. You'll always carry the weight of knowing you could see the top but didn't push through to touch it. This is where you discover what you're really made of. Not in the easy stretches where momentum carries you. Not when you're fresh and energized. But here in the final push, when you have to reach deeper than you knew you could reach. When you have to find reserves you didn't know existed. When you have to become someone you've never been before. And here's the secret, that person you need to become, they're already inside you. They've been there all along, waiting for a moment significant enough to emerge. This is that moment. You're not the same person who started this climb. That person doubted they could make it. That person wondered if they were strong enough, brave enough, worthy enough. But with every step, with every obstacle overcome, with every storm survived, that person evolved. You're carrying forward the wisdom of every failure, the resilience of every hardship, the compassion learned through suffering, the gratitude earned through loss, the patience forged in waiting, the courage built through fear. This is what the mountain does. It doesn't add to you, it reveals you. It strips away everything that isn't essential until you're left with your core, your truth, your unshakable self. And that self is magnificent. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes or your failures or your regrets. You are the climber. You are the choice to keep going. You are the decision that growth matters more than comfort. You are the courage to become, and then you're there, the summit, the place you once could only imagine, the place you weren't sure you'd ever reach, the place that seemed impossible from the valley below. You're standing there, you made it. Take a moment, breathe this air. Look at these views, see how far you've come. See what you've overcome, see who you've become in the climbing. This isn't just a mountain peak, it's proof. Proof that you're capable of more than you believed. Proof that your fear was wrong about you. Proof that giving up would have robbed you of this moment, this view, this version of yourself. But here's what's even more important than reaching this summit. It's what you do with this moment. Because the truth is, this summit isn't the end of your journey. It's a milestone, a checkpoint. A place to rest and celebrate before the next adventure begins. From up here, you can see both where you came from and where you could go next. And here's what you notice. The valley you left isn't inferior to the peak you reached. It's just different. It served its purpose. It was the beginning you needed. You also notice other mountains on the horizon, some taller, some different in character. And here's what's remarkable. They don't intimidate you the way this one once did. Because you know something now that you didn't know before. You know you're a climber. This knowledge changes everything. Not because future mountains will be easy, they won't be, but because you now have evidence. You have experience. You have the memory of standing on this summit, and that memory becomes fuel for every future climb. And now you have something precious to share. Not advice from someone who's never climbed, but wisdom from someone who has. You can look into the eyes of someone who doubts they can make it and say, I understand that doubt. I felt it too. And I'm here to tell you, you can do this. This is how we change the world. Not through grand gestures or perfect achievements, but through one person who climbed their mountain helping the next person climb theirs. Through sharing our struggles honestly so others feel less alone. Through admitting our fears so others feel brave enough to admit theirs. Your mountain, your climb, your summit. These aren't just personal victories. They're contributions to the collective human story of resilience. They're evidence that we can overcome, that we can grow, that we can become more than our circumstances suggest we should be. Here's what nobody tells you about summiting your mountain. When you return to ordinary life, you bring the summit with you. The altitude may decrease, but the elevation of your spirit doesn't. You sit in the same chair, but you're not the same person. You face the same challenges, but you face them with different eyes. You encounter the same people, but you meet them with deeper compassion because you know what it's like to struggle, to doubt, to keep going anyway. This is integration, taking the lessons of the mountain and weaving them into the fabric of your daily life. It means you don't wait for another crisis to be your best self. It means you bring courage to small moments. It means you practice resilience in minor inconveniences so you're ready for major obstacles. The mountain taught you that you're capable of extraordinary things. Now ordinary life invites you to be extraordinary in everyday ways. To be kind when it's easier to be indifferent. To be patient when frustration feels justified. To be grateful when complaint would be more comfortable. To be present when distraction is more tempting. Life is not a single mountain. It's a range. And the moment you accept this, that growth is not a destination but a direction, not an achievement but a practice, everything changes. You stop asking, when will I be done growing? And start asking, how can I grow from this? You stop treating challenges as interruptions to your life and start recognizing them as invitations to expand. You stop waiting to feel ready and start understanding that you become ready by beginning. This is the rhythm of being human. Climb, summit, descend, rest, and climb again. Each cycle teaches you something new. Each mountain reveals a different aspect of your capability. Each summit offers a new perspective on the landscape of your life. And here's the beautiful part. It never gets boring, because you're not climbing the same mountain over and over. Each new challenge is shaped by who you've become, offering lessons precisely calibrated to your next level of growth. The universe is not punishing you with difficulties, it's inviting you to expand. Every step you take on your mountain creates a path for someone else. Every obstacle you overcome proves it can be done. Every summit you reach expands the boundaries of what others believe is possible. You may think your struggles are private, your victories personal, your journey individual. And they are, but they're also universal. Because somewhere, someone is facing the same mountain you just climbed. And your willingness to keep going gives them permission to keep going too. This is your legacy. Not what you achieve, but who you become in the achieving. Not the peaks you summit, but how you carry yourself in the valleys. Not the absence of fear, but the presence of courage despite fear. Not perfection, but persistent progress toward your highest self. You are writing a story with your life, and that story matters. It matters to you, certainly, but it also matters to everyone watching. Everyone who needs proof that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. You are that proof. Your climb is that evidence. So here we are back where we started. You and me standing at the base of your mountain. You can see it clearly now, your challenge, your opportunity, your invitation to become. I can't climb it for you. Nobody can. This is your mountain and every step must be yours. But I can stand here and tell you what I know to be true. You have everything you need. Not everything you want, perhaps. Not everything that would make it easy, but everything you need. You have the resilience written in your DNA. You have the neuroplasticity of your magnificent brain. You have the lessons of every challenge you've already overcome. You have the support of others who are climbing too. And you have this moment right now to choose. Will you climb? Or will you stay here in the valley, comfortable but unfulfilled, safe but small, protected but not fully alive? The mountain doesn't judge your choice. I don't judge your choice, but you will live with your choice. And on the day you look back at your life, you'll either see a range of summits or a series of valleys where you chose comfort over growth. So I'll leave you with this. The mountain within you is calling. It's been calling all along, through every dissatisfaction, every restlessness, every moment you've wondered if there's more to life than this. That call is not your discontent, it's your potential. It's the voice of who you could become, inviting you to begin the journey. And the most beautiful thing about this invitation is that it never expires. It doesn't matter how long you've waited, how many times you've started and stopped, how old you are, how many mistakes you've made. Today, right now, in this moment, you can choose to take the first step. And that step changes everything. Not because it's a big step, but because it's a beginning. And every summit ever reached began with a single step taken by someone who wasn't sure they could make it but decided to try anyway. That someone is you. The mountain is yours, the journey is waiting, and the person you'll become through the climbing, they're magnificent, so take the step. Begin the climb, discover the mountain within you. Your summit is waiting. Like, comment, share, subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon.